You are driving alone. The radio has dissolved into static. Your cell phone lost service miles ago. And as you check your rearview mirror, a pair of headlights appears out of the total darkness, closing the distance at an impossible speed. Out here, the rules of the civilized world no longer apply. America's highway system spans millions of miles, connecting cities, towns, and distant outposts. But there are certain stretches of pavement where isolation reigns supreme. Places where history refuses to be buried, where ancient curses, phantom hitchhikers, and predators not of this world wait in the dark. Tonight, we are taking a journey down the most terrifying roads in America. We will explore the chilling legends of New Jersey's Clinton Road, the cursed pavement of Route 666, the ancient spirits of the Pali Highway, and a remote gas station on Route 9 where the laws of reality completely unravel. Lock your doors, keep your eyes on the road, and whatever you do, do not stop. Why do roads hold so much terror? Highways are transitional spaces. They are the arteries of the nation, but they are also deeply isolated. When you leave the lights of the city behind, you are surrendering to the geography of the land. And some land is deeply scarred. Our first stop is a 10-mile stretch of cracked asphalt in West Milford, New Jersey. Locals simply call it Clinton Road. Despite its short length, it is widely considered the most haunted highway in America. Hemmed in by a dense, shadowy forest, Clinton Road is a place where cell phones mysteriously lose service, cutting you off entirely from the outside world. But the dead zones are the least of your problems. Deep along this isolated stretch lies Dead Man's Curve and the infamous Ghost Boy Bridge. Legend says a young boy drowned in the freezing waters below. If you stand on the bridge at midnight and toss a coin into the river, a small unseen hand will throw it back. Some say it is a playful spirit, but others believe it is a warning from the dead to leave before you suffer a similar fate. Visitors have reported the eerie splash of the water, only to find the exact same coin resting wet at their feet moments later. If you bend down to retrieve it, the ghostly boy might just push you in. But the boy is not the only thing haunting Clinton Road. Deep in the twisted woods lies the ruins of Cross Castle. Built in 1905, the stone edifice eventually fell into decay and became a gathering place for dark forces. In the 1970s and 80s, locals reported finding satanic scripture painted on the castle walls and witnessed cloaked figures practicing dark rituals around massive bonfires. The Ku Klux Klan was also rumored to operate in these woods. People who dared to explore the ruins reported sudden violent seizures, feelings of pure evil, and visions of slaughter. Even though the castle was demolished in the 1980s, the darkness remains. The forest here hides everything from mutated, unearthly animals with glowing red eyes to hellhounds that chase speeding cars down the highway. And then there is the phantom pickup truck, known by some as the Big Rig Ripper. Drivers brave enough to travel Clinton Road after dark report an old, battered black truck suddenly appearing in their rearview mirror. Its engines roar aggressively as it tailgates drivers, its headlights blindingly bright. It creeps inches from the bumper, attempting to force the victim off the road. Just when a crash seems inevitable, the truck vanishes into thin air, leaving no tire tracks or trace behind. Just an hour away from Clinton Road lies a path with a name that sounds like a warning carved into stone: Shades of Death Road. Stretching for nearly 7 miles through central Warren County, this 2-lane strip of asphalt winds through a densely forested corridor. The canopy of ancient hardwoods and pines is so thick that it blocks out the sun, turning the sky gray-green and making the road as dark as dusk even at high noon. The road originally earned its name from the perpetual shadow cast by the trees, but the death part was added later, and for good reason. In the 1850s, the adjacent bare swamp became a breeding ground for malaria, and clouds of mosquitoes decimated the local settlements. Entire households were hollowed out by fever, and victims were buried just off the roadway. In the 1920s and 30s, the road became a dumping ground for brutal murders. An elderly man was beaten to death with a tire jack for his gold coins. A woman beheaded her husband, dismembered his body, and buried the pieces on opposite sides of the road. Today, the dead refuse to stay buried. Along the road sits Ghost Lake, a still body of water where columns of white vapor erupt upward from the surface. Within this mist, drivers have reported seeing human figures walking slowly along the shoreline, only to vanish without a trace. Further in the woods is an abandoned cabin where investigators have recorded the distinct rhythmic sound of heavy footsteps walking across old floorboards, even when the structure is completely empty. But the most terrifying encounters happen on Lenape Lane, a narrow, unmapped dirt track cutting away from the main road. Here, the silence is absolute, as if every living creature in the forest has frozen in fear. Animals perceive the danger immediately. Dogs will drop to the ground and refuse to walk forward, while cats will scratch their owners in desperation to escape. If you walk this lane at night, you may hear the clear, measured sound of footsteps walking directly behind you. The footsteps match your pace perfectly. If you stop, they stop. If you run, they run. Local legend offers one absolute rule: if you hear those footsteps, do not stop and never turn around. Leaving the dense forests of the East Coast, we travel to the desolate desert landscapes of Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico. Here lies U.S. Route 491, a stretch of pavement formerly known as Route 666, the Devil's Highway. The dark connotations of its original number perfectly match its reputation. It is one of the most haunted and dangerous roads in America, plagued by fatal accidents and bizarre supernatural phenomena. Travelers on the Devil's Highway frequently report encountering a pale spirit, a young girl in a flowing white dress standing in the middle of nowhere. She appears fragile and lost, but when concerned drivers stop to offer help, she vanishes into thin air, leaving behind an unnatural, bone-chilling stillness. But the girl is the least of your worries on Route 666. Drivers also report a phantom red semi-truck that appears out of nowhere. Driven by an evil spirit, this massive truck speeds recklessly down the highway, aiming directly at civilian vehicles to force them off the road. If a driver manages to swerve out of the way, they will look back to find no trace of the truck at all. And if the phantom truck doesn't get you, the hounds of hell might. These supernatural beasts are described as large, menacing dogs with glowing yellow eyes and razor-sharp teeth. They can keep pace with speeding vehicles, attacking tires, and even jumping through open windows to maul the occupants. The route cuts deeply through Native American lands, and travelers frequently report encounters with skinwalkers. These shape-shifting beings take the form of animals, darting into the road to cause horrific accidents. Drivers who swerve to avoid a coyote or deer often look in their rearview mirror and see a human figure standing where the animal just was. The road is also a hotspot for UFO sightings and unexplained time loss. Travelers report losing hours or even days of their journey, arriving at their destinations with no memory of what happened in the dark. In an attempt to shed the curse, the government renamed the highway Route 491, but the spirits, the skinwalkers, and the fatal accidents remained. Far across the Pacific, isolation takes on a tropical yet equally terrifying form. In Hawaii, the Pali Highway winds through the Nuuanu Pali, a steep cliff holding deep cultural significance. In 1795, this sacred land was the site of the Battle of Nuuanu, where King Kamehameha I unified Hawaii by pushing rival forces off the steep cliffs to their deaths. When modern highway was developed in 1898, workers uncovered the skulls of 800 fallen warriors. Today, the spirits of these warriors are known as the Night Marchers. They are ghostly figures cursed to march forever, guarding the sacred land. If you are on the Pali Highway at midnight and hear the distant thud of drums echoing through the fog, the Night Marchers are near. Legend dictates that the only way to survive their wrath is to lie face down on the ground to show ultimate respect. Those who look at them or beg for mercy disappear forever. The highway is also haunted by a weeping, ghostly woman seeking her lost children and invisible entities that stalk stalled cars, leaving damp handprints. Returning to the mainland, we find Stagecoach Road in Marshall, Texas. Used prior to the Civil War as a main transportation artery, this road has been trampled by horse hooves and iron-rimmed wheels for so long that the dirt pathway is literally worn down up to 12 feet below the surrounding terrain. Driving it feels like descending into the underworld. This road is plagued by the horrific legacy of American slavery and backwoods murders. Paranormal investigators tracking the woods have recorded voices claiming to have been starved and hanged from the old bridges. Visitors report seeing a phantom death coach drawn by 4 horses and a weeping woman wandering the tree lines with a glowing lantern. If you park your car near the lake and turn off your headlights, your vehicle will physically rock back and forth, and you will find small red dust handprints of phantom children left on your windows. But of all the haunted routes in America, the most terrifying anomalies might exist on Route 9. While Sleepy Hollow's Route 9 in New York is famous for the Headless Horseman, and Illinois claims the phantom hitchhiker Resurrection Mary, there is a legendary remote gas station on Route 9 surrounded by an ocean of black pine forest where reality itself fundamentally breaks down. Documented by graveyard shift workers, this location is subjected to physical impossibilities. At 2 a.m., a figure walked into the brightly lit store. There was no sound of a car, no headlights. The entity's movements were completely wrong, stiff and violently shuddering, as if an alien intelligence was poorly piloting a human skeleton. When the worker looked at the customer's face, they saw a smooth, pinkish silicone mask with a wide painted smile and hollow glass spheres for eyes. The entity approached the counter, placed a physical $20 bill down, and walked out. But the true horror was revealed on the security footage. The digital cameras captured the glass doors opening and the $20 bill floating in mid-air. But the entity itself cast absolutely no digital reflection. It was a physical mass operating on a frequency that modern technology simply could not encode. The environment adapts to hunt its prey. Later that night, a rusted dead payphone at the edge of the property began to ring. The copper lines were visibly severed, making it mechanically impossible to receive a signal. When the worker answered the dead receiver, they heard their own voice speaking back to them. The entity had hijacked the worker's own vocal cords to recite their deepest, darkest childhood secrets, weaponizing their memories to paralyze them in fear. The voice warned the worker not to turn around, while a tall, pitch-black silhouette waited just outside in the fog. The final intrusion abandoned psychological warfare for pure, unavoidable physical horror. A massive semi-truck parked in the lot. The human driver was sitting in the cab, but he was completely paralyzed, staring blankly at the ceiling in absolute terror. He was merely a decoy. Beneath the truck, the worker discovered a massive, pale, organic creature fused directly into the cold steel of the heavy machinery. Its spindly limbs operated the truck's transmission. The monster had no eyes, just a vertical split mouth filled with needle-like teeth. It shrieked with a sound that blended a dying man's scream with grinding metallic gears and hijacked the physical mechanics of the truck, driving it straight into the black forest. These are not just ghost stories. They are environmental anomalies that force us to question the stability of our world. We assume that technology, heavy machinery, and steel keep us safe from the dark. We believe that if a digital camera doesn't record it, it isn't real. But the entities on America's haunted highways exploit that exact blind spot. They subvert our physical reality. A dead payphone becomes an instrument of psychological torture. The heavy steel of a semi-truck is hijacked by biomechanical parasitism. A phantom truck leaves no physical evidence of its existence. The profound isolation of these routes break down the barrier between our internal psychology and the external world. When you are out there, miles from civilization, you are entirely exposed to whatever lies beneath the fabric of reality. So, the next time you find yourself driving down a deserted highway late at night and the fog begins to roll in, keep your eyes strictly on the road. Do not answer a ringing payphone. Do not pick up a coin on a bridge. And whatever you do, do not look in the rearview mirror. You might not like what is looking back at you.